The quiz is over. The final exam is over. That class that you had to take is over. And after a month, you don't remember a thing that you learned in that class. Yes, it has happened to me, and I am sure it has happened to you. How can we deal with this? How can we remember effectively? Well, first of all, let me say something. We do not have to remember everything that we come to know about in school. That's the truth. There are things that are more important than others. But I'm talking about those things that are really important to remember, especially if you are in college, especially if you want to be someone good at whatever you are planning to be good at. So let me put it this way. If you want to remember effectively something, memorizing is not enough. And people do this all the time. They memorize something, they take the exam or the quiz or the midterm, and after that, it's gone. Memorizing is not the solution. But repeating that action, remembering that content, reading about it again, doing that activity again will help you remember effectively what you learned. Let me put it this way. If you are a surgeon, in order to remember how to operate, you will constantly have to be at the table, inside the OR, operating people. If you are a preacher, if you are a pastor, and you want to remember how to preach, you have to constantly do it. And of course, you will get better at it. If you are a teacher and you want to remember how to teach and you want to improve more and more, you have to continue doing it. So my first tip about how to remember effectively is that you have to repeat that action. You have to read that material again, even though the class is over. You have to revisit what you know if you want to remember it effectively. And the second tip that I would like to share with you about remembering effectively, which in the end will help you to be a better student. Make sure that every time you have the chance to revisit that content, to revisit that material, to revisit that information, you add something new to it. You have a different perspective. You have a new light about it. For example, I talked about surgeons. They are constantly investigating and researching how to do things in a better way, in a more efficient way. Teachers should do the same. Preachers should do the same. I think everybody in society that wants to remember something effectively should try to find a new angle, a new perspective, a new way to do it. I'm not saying that that new way might be the best. Maybe with the passing of time you find out that, well, actually it's not helpful. But having that different perspective will help you to remember what works best. So, do it again. If you want to remember that something effectively, do it again. Read it again. Research about it again. And number 2, make sure that you look at it every time from a different angle. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, then you go back to what you were doing before. But the more you look for better solutions, the more chances you have to improve. Don't memorize, but remember.